program, MFA program. It may be hard to realize, but MFA programs were rare back then. And Iowa was the big one. Ralph was a published writer when he arrived, and a family man with worldly experience that ranged from having to hunt squirrels for dinner, I think, as he was growing up. Is that true? Deer, whatever. You know, he knew how to survive, is what I should say. To military service, to publishing in the New Yorker magazine. And we were happy to hear that when he got to Eugene. But he was never a keeper of the gate in any sense. In what was a rather formal and almost exclusively male academic world of the early 60s, that's what I'm talking about, it's the early 60s, 61, not there. Ralph was egalitarian and welcoming, more than generous in opening up the world of writing to younger writers, to me and to many others, telling us that what we did was real and worthy of attention. He moved our writing seminar out of the classroom to an off-campus room at the College Side Inn, which had the jolly air of a smoke-filled Elizabethan pub or robber's den. He encouraged me and others to take chances and send our work out successfully and to see ourselves as real writers. He instigated spontaneous readings. I remember him sitting cross-legged on the floor with visiting Canadian poet Earl Burney on the floor of our sparsely furnished, soon-to-be condemned apartment building, as a dozen of us took turns reading new work. He edited the Northwest Review and opened real editing jobs for graduate students reading incoming manuscripts. Later, when I lived in Michigan, we regularly returned west in the summer, and my husband, 3 children, and a dog or 2 would make spontaneous stops at Ralph and Ingrid's on our way to the coast. Ingrid would cook up something delicious. We would read poems, talk poetry half the night, and sometime before dawn, they would find beds for us all, including the dogs. One summer, we arrived to find Ralph with his shirt off, sweating in the sun as he managed moving a 2-story house from one side of Eugene to the other. Not all by himself, but, you know. But really, moving a house. McDonald's wanted to clear a lot for a new franchise, and Ralph and Ingrid bought the house, I think, for $1. Ralph was never afraid of hard work. These are personal memories of Ralph's generosity and fellowship, but of course, in the big picture is that Ralph has published countless works of poetry, prose, and translation. Some of my favorites among his titles: The Indian Who Bombed Berlin, Blind Pumper at the Well, Rainbows of Stone, Ghost Grapefruit, and most recently, So Far, So Good, a gratifying memoir that tells the story of his complex and many-layered life as a descendant of, with an ancestry of Irish and Cherokee, and who knows what else, you know? He's a many-varied person. A life that he defines as belonging to the tribe of the world. Tonight, I am delighted to present to Ralph Salisbury the well-deserved C.E.S. Wood Retrospective Award, celebrating a distinguished career in Oregon letters.